Hello everyone and welcome to the eBundles workshop. This workshop has been pre-recorded and directly uploaded onto our UEA Mooting YouTube channel. So if you have any questions about it, please email either myself or your Advanced Mooting coordinator for this year, which is Ranulph Gull. So firstly, what programs do I recommend when constructing an eBundle? I've personally used Foxit Reader PDF for the actual management of the PDFs. I found this program to be really intuitive, really user-friendly, and completely free with no sign-up required. With the merging, splitting, and conversion of PDFs, I've used ilovepdf.com. Again, really, really easy to use. Everything's really well signposted. You can get to everything from the website's home screen, and again, completely free. Now, there are paid alternatives to these where it's more of kind of an all-encompassing PDF management program, so you don't need Foxit Reader PDF and ilovepdf.com. It's just called all in one place. But personally, I don't think it's really necessary. Both of these programs are really, really good. If you want to pay for them, it's fine. I can't stop you from doing it. If you want to use other sites, which you find personally kind of easier to use, again, it's completely personal preference. I like using these, but as long as you get a good e-bundle sorted, I don't really care how you get it done. It's more about the content for me than the process. So what I'll walk you through though is how I would use these two programs, and this is kind of for my example of how when I'm constructing an e-bundle, I would do it. So when I'm starting out for an e-bundle, I approach it in the same way that I would a physical bundle. So I identify the quotes I'll be using in the cases by reading through them thoroughly, getting a good understanding, and kind of noting down, okay, this is what I want to take from this document. It's really crucial at this stage that you know the order of your cases, and as that's going to matter a lot in terms of the structure of a bundle later on, and the organization aspect in terms of making it less time consuming. So normally for a physical bundle where you'd see the quote and you'd be like, okay, I'm going to highlight that one, I'm going to stick a little sticky tab on it saying quote mark A. I'm going to show you what the eBundle version of it is. Now, like I said, I'm using Foxit Reader PDF here, and we're under the Home tab, and this is, as you can see, nicely marked out by the big red circle and the big red arrow. This is the highlight function. If you click on it, it will bring up a little marker, and you can just drag that across sentences and paragraphs, and it will snap onto those sentences and paragraphs and highlight them. It's really, really easy to use. You can change the color, you can change the density. Again, that's completely down to personal preference. I leave it on default, which is yellow. I found that's perfectly acceptable. Now, obviously, once you've highlighted those quotes, the next step is to mark those out to your judges. So normally in a physical bundle, you'd be using those little sticky tabs. For e-bundles, I would personally recommend the text box function. So now what we've got here is we've got the highlighted quote. Again, this is what using the highlighter that I mentioned in the previous one. If you can see at the top here underneath the comment tab, which is where the text box is, there's also a function called area highlight. Now, if you're working with slightly older documents that haven't been correctly formatted for PDFs, you might not be able to use the aforementioned highlight function because it won't snap onto the sentences. But if you use area highlight, it's more of a free highlighting tool within the document, so you can highlight outside of the text boundaries. And I'd recommend that. It's a little bit kind of more finicky, and you have to put a little bit more finesse and effort into it. So the highlight function is preferable if it's available, but the area highlight is perfectly acceptable and works brilliantly. It just requires that little bit more due diligence to make sure it's a little bit neater. But once the quote has been highlighted, what I do is I use the text box function. Now, the default text box function for Foxit Reader is a little red text box. Again, it works the same way for kind of Word documents where you just kind of drag and draw them. Now, you can change the color, you can change the outline, but I do find it useful to have an outlined and kind of like a red or a blue text box because it draws the eyes of the judges. It makes it easier to find the quote. And what you do is you just draw that text box right next to the quote, normally just up in the corner. I'll show you kind of an example in the next slide. And you just type in, if it's quote A, you just type in A. Now, one thing to note is I think the default font size for text boxes is 9. Really, we should be looking for like 16 to 18, just so it's that little bit more presentable and out there and we can see it properly. And that's it. That's it for quotes. So I'll show you, this is the finished quote. This is what we're really looking for. You can see that it's been properly highlighted, it's neat, and you've got that little text box with the A showing that it's quote mark A. And because you're referring to specific pages of the bundle, we won't really be needing to look for it because it's that much easier to find. And I found it so much more easier than having all the sticky notes, and I think it looks a little bit more presentable. So we're now at the stage of the bundle where you've got all the original documents and you've highlighted the quotes that you're going to use and you've marked them out. So the next step is to take those massive PDFs and split them so we get the pages that we will need for the bundle itself. So before we jump into that, a little bit of advice on this. Note down all the pages of the document that you'll be using. So if you've got a case and you're using, say, one quote on page 6 and one quote on page 14, you know that first of all you need the first page of that document. You will need that, and you'll need the last page of that document. But you will also need the page before the quote and the page after the quote. So you, for the example I gave, if it's a quote on page 6, you'll need page 5 and page 7 as well. For eBundle specifically, what I'd recommend is that you have a few folders just to organize things and make it a little bit easier for you. So what I recommend is, say, like you have like round 2 as an overarching folder, and then you'll have original documents, split documents, and finally you'll have the merged documents. It just makes things that little bit easier for you to follow, and you can see which documents you've kind of split, which ones you've still got left to do, and also if you've made any mistakes, you can kind of retrace your steps and edit them as you see fit. But yeah, just make sure you note down the pages because that's going to come into the next part. So, splitting PDFs. So we are here on the I Love PDF home screen, and I've put a big red circle around it and a big red arrow. This is the split PDF function. Now, what I have neglected to show you in this slideshow is the upload function for the split PDF, merge PDFs, etc. Because it works in the same way that you would upload an attachment to an email. It's very easy to use, and I thought, it's not really necessary to show you that. So once you've uploaded the document, once you've selected the one that you're going to use, it will bring you to this screen for splitting a PDF. Now you can see you've got two options here on the right hand side. You can split by range, or you can extract the pages. I'd personally recommend splitting by range as opposed to extracting the pages. So for extracting pages, you have to individually select which pages you want to be in a PDF. And if you've got a really long case, it's going to make it time consuming to click which ones you actually want in there. Whereas split by range, it kind of narrows it down and you can get it done quite quickly. I believe that for e-bundles, what we do mandate is that any authorities under 15 pages can be put in their entirety. Any authorities over 15 pages have to be split. So what I would do is make sure you've got custom ranges on. See here under range mode, and then we'll start with range 1. So we know we have to take the first page of each authority. So that'd be from page 1 to page 1. Then what you do is you would add a range. So I use the example of if we had a quote on page 6, we would have the range being from page 5, which is the page before, to page 7. And then you would add another, you can then add another range if you've got another quote in the document, say, I think I said page 14, so it's 13 to 15. And then finally, you want to add the final page. So for this specific document, the final page is on page 83. So the final range would be from 83 to 83. Now, here's the final step, and it is a crucial final step. Please make sure you have ticked at the bottom this little box which says merge all ranges into one PDF file. Make sure this is ticked. If you tick that, then all the ranges that you've just selected will be put into one document, and it's a lot easier, and then that's your split file for that authority. If you don't, it's going to put all the different ranges you put in their own individual PDF files, and that becomes so time consuming. So make sure you have that box ticked. It'll save you a lot of time and a lot of effort. And that's it. That's how you split a PDF. So you just follow that step-by-step procedure through for each case and each authority. And then you've come to the point now where we've got properly highlighted and marked out quotes, and we've got the split PDFs, which ensure that we've only got the pages that we actually need for the bundle. And that's where you should be, with the file that says split PDFs, and it's got all the properly done PDFs up to this point. Now what we need to do is to get all those split authorities and put them into the actual content of the bundle, because a bundle has to be done in one PDF. So, advice before you start merging files. Again, can't harp on about this enough. Make sure you keep all of these in a separate folder. It makes it so much easier, trust me. It just means that it's easier to follow and you're not accidentally merging a complete authority with the split authority. And this is just something that takes a little bit of time, but it's just so useful and it's just such a good failsafe. Check to see that you've got the correct ranges in your split documents before you start merging. It's going to be a real hassle if you haven't got your correct ranges in when you've come to the final bit of your rebundle and you're looking through your PDF and you realize that you're one page short and you're missing that, or you've taken the wrong quote, or you've gone one page over. Just make sure that you've done that before you start merging. So, like I said, we're at the point where we've got all our split highlighted PDFs in one folder. We're now going to merge them. So we're back on the home screen for I Love PDF, and we're going to go to the merge PDF function. Again, big red circle, big red arrow. When we're in there, you will ask you to upload the documents. If you go into it will open up the file and you choose the file which you want, the folder which you want to upload the files from, and you could just select all of them. Now, if you've put all your files in the order in which you want them in the bundle, that's fair enough. It's going to come up immediately as default, case 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you haven't, and you've put, case 3 first, case 1 second, etc., then it will just come up as that. Don't panic. I've highlighted it and I put it in a big red circle. I Love PDF is really easy to use, and you just have to simply drag and drop them. So, for example, I've got on the screen, I've got the Heathrow judgment down on the bottom right, which is going to be the final document merged. But say if I actually want that between the Royal Society document and the Judicial Review document, I just drag and drop them between. So it will be easier, obviously, if you've got them kind of already organized in the folder, but it's not mandatory, and you won't waste much time just kind of dragging and drop them. Now, what I personally recommend is that the senior and junior councils split and then merge their PDFs separately. So for both junior and senior, you have your merged authorities separate. Again, it's personal preference. You can do it completely together if you want to, but I think it's just a little bit easier, and it's kind of you're at your own kind of time management behest as to when you do it. Just make sure that you've got it correctly done, and then what you can do is you can merge them together at a later point. Now, you have now got the main content of your bundle. You've got the authorities properly highlighted and properly merged. And if you've already merged with junior and seniors, then you've got that bit completely done. But as you know, there are additional documents that you need to put in. So I'm going to show you an example contents page that I use from an e-bundle, which I constructed. And I will attach, and I'll send out this e-bundle to all of you, just as an example, just for you guys to kind of peruse. And I'm showing you a contents page for that because although I'm sure some of you are more aware of what things you've got to have in a bundle, it never hurts to have a reminder. And I'll get onto about how you do those additional documents later. So this is the contents page that I had for my bundle. So this is where you have the cover page first, and then I've got case facts, skeleton argument, table of authorities, and then I start going into the actual authorities that I've used. Now, as you can see, this was a fairly long bundle, but e-bundles make it a lot easier. It really does. Honestly, I can't tell you how much longer this would have taken me if this was a physical bundle. So for the 3 documents that you see at the top there, the case fact, skeleton argument, table of authorities, what I personally recommend you guys to do is just do them how you normally would. Just do them in Word documents. And then what you can do is using ilovepdf.com, you can just convert them from Word documents to PDF documents and then just merge them with the actual content of your bundle. And honestly, it's just so easy once you start merging documents. Once you have kind of that main content, that block of junior and senior authorities all merged, and then you can just, as and when you want, you can just merge in the skeleton argument, you can merge in the table of contents. It's really brilliant. So again, that it's completely up to you and how you do it, but you know what a bundle should look like physically. It's just about making that same structure electronically. I think that's pretty much it in terms of eBundle, the actual workshop on it. Again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to message me, drop me an email. I understand that it's quite a big leap, but I'm really excited about this, and so are the rest of the mooting team, because it's so much easier than physical bundles, and this is what is actually currently being used in professional practice. And PDF management is essential, and you don't want it to be a big shock if you do plan on practicing and you get there and you've been prepping for physical bundles and everyone's doing e-bundles and you've got to kind of adjust then. It's best to get used to it now. Not to mention it saves so much time and money. It was always the hardest part of a moot for me, was getting the bundles done. And for this year, one of the reasons why we switched to e-bundles, apart from it being environmentally friendlier, is that we are really looking for the focus to be on the quality of submissions. And we believe that e-bundles free up a lot more time for you to focus on your submissions. But yeah, that's it from me. What I will do now is I have a quick video to show you, which came from our sponsors over at Flagship. So I will show you that now.
Home. There's no place quite like it. It's where we laugh. And where we cry. It's where we fight. And where we make up. It's where we long to be. And where we long to leave. It's where they'll grow up. And you'll grow old. Every year we support hundreds of customers from every walk of life to find a place they can call home. Like Leila at number 4, the Turners at number 7, Mr. King at 46, and the bakers across the road who moved in last week. Every day we keep life ticking and taps from dripping. We take care of those statements and remove the odd one. We'll be there to save the day and to help you sleep at night. We are Christine, Gavin, Marcel, Ryan, and Nick. And we know there's more to your home than just 4 walls. The work we do matters, because the lives we help matter. We are Flagship.
So that was just a quick video from Flagship. I think they've got a few more events coming up as well in terms of employability. They've done a few already. If you've been to those, they've been absolutely excellent, and I'd really recommend coming along to the next few. But yeah, guys, apart from that, that's pretty much it on the workshop. Just as I've mentioned, if you do have any questions, do feel free to email me. I know the first round it would kind of be a bit of an adjustment period. We're obviously not looking for perfect e-bundles straight away, but this is something that we really feel that once people kind of adapt to and get used to, you're gonna find it a lot easier and a lot less time consuming than physical bundles have previously been in the past. So thank you very much for watching, and have a good rest of your day.